Hello and welcome to another Tuesday night podcast. This is the Talking Parra Leagues Tuesday night live show. Look, we've gone early once again. It started very early, 7:45. Like to throw you off a little bit. It's cold, it's wet, and what else would you rather be doing than watching us on a Tuesday night? First of all, thanks to our sponsors. Time for a chat. ZMS Trophies, Bay Vista, Eurowork, Tate Sports Card, Nonstop Landscapes, Wink Media, X-Visory, Spot On Hose and Fittings, Tony Mustafa Mortgage Choice, JD Buyers Agents, and Riverside Brewing Co. I think I got it right by now. And of course, Parra Leagues. Look, we are doing an NRLW preview tonight to start the show. We've got some special guests joining us as well, but you're already all over it, aren't you? It doesn't take as long as you remember straight away. I don't think anyone will forget. One more words are on fire tonight, eh? The controversy of last week where Khalid has, watching from Lebanon, he's that annoyed he's left the country. He felt like he was robbed for the $50 voucher, but it is a $100 giveaway tonight. So $100 giveaway thanks to Parramatta Leagues Club. All you have to do is share the podcast. Once you've shared it, comment done or shared. Jez will obviously star that and we'll draw a win at the end. Now, remember, you do have to be here to win it, and you do only have 30 seconds, not 35 seconds, not 36 seconds, 30 seconds. So if it doesn't go off, it jackpots to $150 next week. So make sure you're here. Let's bring everyone else in now, and we'll obviously do that as well. So first of all, regular Hayden, you're here to talk some NRLW to start with. How you're travelling in? You're in a mansion today, mate. You upgrade, you win lotto or something?
Yeah, mate. I thought the club will save the clowns for 8:15. We'll stay fancy for my introduction to the first NRLW part of the podcast. Looking forward to talking a bit of NRLW. It's our first game this week, so it's always exciting.
I take you to one fancy steak restaurant in Wollongong, and all of a sudden you've got a bit of class about you. I absolutely love it. Mary Kay, welcome. Look, for everyone who's obviously been around Parramatta for quite a while, everyone knows Mary Kay and her passion for the women's game. Welcome to the Talking Parra podcast, your first appearance.
That's an introduction.
She's that excited to be here. She's frozen. Try and talk now. No, nothing. It's the quietest I've ever heard you. It's a miracle.
Well, which one of us? Is that me? Is it me, Adam, that's frozen?
It's you. Yeah, it's you. We've lost you. We'll go to Taylor. We'll give you a chance.
I'm so sorry. I am so excited to be here that I've literally frozen.
Yeah, no, you're good now. You seem to be good now. So, like I said, welcome. As I said, Parramatta Eels, tragic. Obviously, a big fan of the women's game.
Thank you. Just a bit of stage fright.
Bit of stage fright. Yeah, you're frozen up. So it's the quietest I've ever seen you. It's a miracle. So, Taylor, you look like you're not frozen. How are you travelling?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm keen for this potty. Keen to talk about the girls' game. If it's going to be anything like Origin this season, it's going to be so good.
Yeah, that's true. It was a classic Origin series. Let's get straight into it, eh? Obviously, the NRLW girls, as we said, kicking off on Thursday night. Let's talk about last year, first of all. I don't think they were really expected to do much last year, and I mean that pretty respectfully. Coming off a pretty terrible year the year before, I believe they didn't win a game. Obviously, there was a lot of turnaround after making the grand final in 2022 and having such a successful year. Last year, finished fifth, just missed out in the finals. Mary Kay, I'll try and go to you first. Your thoughts on last year and I guess the improvement shown?
Yeah, I think actually last year we were underestimated by a lot of people. Many people will forget that 2 years ago we had some pretty serious injuries. So we were without Rachel Pearson and Elsie Albert for half the season, and then we lost Kennedy Cherry as well for several weeks towards the back end of the year. So I don't think we actually had our best team at any point 2 years ago. So last year it was great to see so many of the women all finally get onto the field together, and no surprises when we had Rachel, when we had Elsie, when we had Kennedy, we were far more competitive. And there were also some shining stars last year. Rory Owens was the obvious one, but I also really enjoyed watching Cassie Tohu-Hiku transition into the halves, and I'm really excited to see what she can do this year as well.
Yeah, for sure. So it was a massive growth year. And so I'll ask you, Taylor, going so close last year, finishing fifth, missing out by one game. What's that do, obviously, to motivate you for the year after, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think they're definitely, especially the end of the year as well for the season, we started to see lots of combos coming in, like all the girls getting back and they're finding their grooves. I think it's going to add a lot more spark coming into this season. I think they're going to be looking real good.
Yeah, for sure. Hayden, your thoughts on last year? You obviously been in a losing team before. We all know that. Your thoughts on, I guess, what it did do to go so close yet so far, and obviously the game's evolving this year. Another 2 teams added. So, you look at it this way: if we finish 5th this year, we make the finals. Finishing 5th last year, miss out by 1 win. So I think the interesting fact too was I think we won all 4 games away from home last year and only won 1 game at home. So adding to that this year, obviously you make home a fortress and a couple of double headers as well at Combank. What's your thoughts, Hayden?
Yeah, as you said, got to get some home victories because they weren't sort of there last year. Mary makes a good point about the injuries. You go back 2 years ago, and then last year it was pretty successful. As you guys said, very underestimated, not much expected of us, and almost making the finals. And I've got to be honest, I think the girls did their best. I don't think they could have done any better. There were teams above them for those reasons, and they absolutely blew it out of the park and almost made finals off the back of a really good year. And the retention's been pretty good for the most part this year, as Taylor said, in regards to combos and things. There's going to be more team dynamic, and I'm pretty excited to see them shock the world again.
Yeah, let's move away from that because obviously it's been a big part of it, the growth in the women's game. Like I said, there wasn't any big name signings and stuff. They just kind of developed what was in our own backyard. And it's been a real focus, I guess, to grow that junior system as well. And that's been saying to you, big Mary Kay. Obviously, when they put out the players survey and stuff, Parramatta Eels are rated as the #1 women's team in the competition. Talk us through that, what that means to you.
I was really delighted, Adam, because I think we've seen a bit of a history in the women's game of clubs being extremely enthusiastic and putting in bids when they don't necessarily have the facilities to be able to support the women to train exactly the same way that the men do and to have the right facilities for them to be okay on game day. So I think for us to be ranked so highly speaks volumes about our wellbeing program led by the amazing Annie Chrissy, and I think we'll only go from strength to strength with the opening of the Centre of Excellence this year. What I think sometimes people underestimate is how much of a big deal that Centre of Excellence is for so many of the players. There's a woman named Martha Mataele who's come over from New Zealand, and she was talking about how she's never had her own locker. She's never had a locker with her name on it. And to have something like that at the new Centre of Excellence just means the world for them. So I think that'll be another added bonus for the team this year.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that as well, because it's one thing I hadn't considered. Obviously, when you look at it, like we know that's the biggest rugby league facility, in the world, the Centre of Excellence. But, when you look at it from a development thing to grow the women's game as well, it's huge to have the facilities there that, our men's team hasn't had before as well. It shows you how fast the game is growing. And I guess when we did the tour there, the NRLW girls were meant to be training, but they were in a camp. But, to see those facilities and what they have, everything's exactly the same. I'm trying to be political here because, there has been obviously favoritism shown to men over years in sport and stuff, but there's none of that with Parramatta, which shows why they were rated so highly. So we've lost Mary again. She's very happy on that. She's sitting there smiling. Let's talk about obviously the development.
Yeah, and I think the other.
There she goes. She's
the lag is funny.
I keep phrasing. I'm like surprising everyone. You can't actually have a conversation with me. The other thing, Adam, that I wanted to say just quickly before we move on is that the Centre of Excellence has been designed knowing that it should be the same for the men and the women. And I think that's really the crucial part. I'm quiet now.
Yeah. No, that's huge. You're right. That's absolutely huge. Let's talk about, that development. Like I said, success. Obviously, Lisa Fiala, Tasha Gale teams, they won the comp in both those grades. And I remember, at the end of 2022, going into that 2023 NRLW season, we're pretty angry looking at, the fact that how many players are lost and we weren't really signing anyone and stuff like that. But to see how much they've backed their own backyard is huge. Hayden, winning those comps, what's it mean, obviously, for those young girls coming through? And we're seeing some of them already taking the step up. Some of those Tasha Gale girls taking the step up into that NRLW team as well.
Yeah, well, we see it in both the men and women's game. Obviously, they go through the New South Wales Cup from those programs and then eventually make their NRL debut. And it's going to be the same in the NRLW. It's almost going to be scary for some of these NRLW girls who aren't playing their best footy. Are they going to keep their positions because these other cups and these successful grades are going to be knocking on the door? And these premierships are so important. They're going to be there around the Centre of Excellence, what they've done. And I feel like a few of them are going to be a bit scared that their spot's not safe.
Yeah, that's correct. Let's run through that squad. And Taylor, I'm going to throw you massively under the bus here. I'm sorry to do this to you. You're the person I know the least on here. But I wrote up these squad lists today when they were finalised, and some of the names were hard enough to absolutely type up. I mean that as respectfully as I can. I am terrible with pronunciation. I read out the same group of players nearly every week, and I still can't get them right. So you can read that in front of you, Taylor. I'm going to give you the hard task of reading through the NRLW squad for this year.
All right, let's do it. So for the NRL girls squad, the Parra Eels, we've got Abby Church. I'm gonna stuff these up so bad as well. So sorry. Boss Kapua, Brienne Elis, Cassie Tohihiku, Chelsea McLara, Chloe Jackson, Elsie Albert, Flor Ginn, Kennedy Sherrington, Lindsay Tui, Mahala Murphy, Martha Mattel, Mia Middleton, Paige Travis, Rachel Pearson, Rory Owen, Rosemary Beckett, Ruby Jen Kennard, Ruben Charrington, Riva Lee.
I couldn't. Mary, can you save us on that one? Can you pronounce that one?
So I think it's River. Do you want me to take over for a while, Taylor? You've done all the hard ones.
Please.
It's River Lee Arlo, Tanika Todd Hunter, Tyler Amiatu, Yasmin Baker, Zali Faye, and the development players are Leah Sufan, I think, Jessica Kennedy, Raisha Far Musili, and Tess McWilliams.
There you go. Great team effort. You nailed that. You did a heap better than I would have done, that's for sure. But looking at those development players, Elian Sofin and Tess McWilliams both come out the Tasha Gale winning team that I know of. So I actually couldn't find Tess anywhere on the squad list, but she's in the photo. And I remember going to the Centre of Excellence and doing the tour and seeing her name on the locker. And she was an absolute weapon. She changed that Tasha Gale grand final. So, you know, she's obviously, under 19. We know that. So 18 or 19. To see what she can do on NRLW level in the first year could be huge. We'll quickly run through the ins and outs as well, because there hasn't really actually been a lot of changes. They've kept a lot of that squad together, obviously, with some young players coming in. There's a couple missing of the outs, kind of don't know where they've gone. It's kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. And those other ones to come back in. But Martha Matelli, Paige Travis, and Fleur Ginn are the ins. Rosie Kelly, Pihika, Berryman, Duff, and Madeline Jones are the outs. Madeline Jones having a year off, having a child. So, Mary, looking at that squad, the ins and outs, what do we add there?
So I'm pretty happy, to be honest. I mean, I know you've spoken about the importance of our development players. I think that's even more important given the competition continues to expand. So we've got the New Zealand Warriors, we've got the Canterbury Bulldogs, and I think over the next couple of years, the teams that are going to be successful are the ones that are able to grow and retain their own talent, because the reality is every time a new team comes in, you know, that talent is going to spread further. The one that I'm really, really excited about is Paige Travis. Paige is from the UK. She's coming over. It could be the sign of more women from the Super League coming over. I got the chance to watch her in the UK at the last Rugby League World Cup. So I'm really looking forward to watching Paige this year.
Yeah, it's massive signing. It's the first, obviously, professional contract as well. And I just saw the excitement with her today, interacting on Instagram and stuff, like, all family back home so excited for her playing, so she knows she's going to come and take this opportunity. Let's move on to our player to watch. So our player to watch this year, I'll start with you, Hayden. Who's your player to watch from the NRLW team?
I mean, Abby Church had such a good season last year. I feel like she's not a player to watch, so because she's already set herself up on the big stage. I'm going to go with Paige Travis, and I'm going to go purely because of that fact that she's experienced in the Super League, and we see in NRL, sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. And let's hope it works out for us and she plays her best football. So for me, I'll go with Paige Travis making that transition into the team.
Yeah, for sure. Good shout. Taylor, your player to watch?
My player to watch, I mean, she's one of the faves, but she's my fave, and I know the most about her, but it's definitely Kennedy Sherrington. I think just especially watching her last year when she backs up her sister as well, I think she's just got that spark that she brings to the team. You know, I know she's not in for the first few rounds because of the injury, but she's got that passion that she brings to the team. Like when they're down, she just gets them up, gets them going. I just think she's a point of difference for the Parra Eels.
Yeah, for sure. Mary, who are you going as your player to watch? You can only have one.
All right. So, Hayden, I'm going to say Abby Church, you can go her, because after Origin, I think she's in for a really big season. But my one is actually Lindsay Tui. Lindsay spent a lot of time injured last year. She's already had representative honours at the under-19s level. And I think she's going to make a huge difference this year.
Yep. Oh, well, no surprise. I mentioned it before, and I believe she's on a development contract. I couldn't get any clarification, and my usual source wasn't available to get it. But I'm going to go Tess McWilliams. I was that impressed in what I saw in the Tasha Gale Grand Final. I think she's going to have no problem stepping up to the NRLW, and I think she'll be a force. Like, she'll be an absolute force. I think she's a country girl, and I'm basing that off the fact the family was sitting in front of us at that grand final. And they certainly seem like country people in their boots and their hats. So I see her, obviously, whether it's New South Wales, Queensland, I see her playing Origin next year. That's how good a year I expect her to have. And yeah, Jonathan's backing up there. Absolute weapon of a player. I've never seen someone demolish a team that well and change a game in any level as what she did in that grand final. They were done. They were down 16-0. They're absolutely done. And she just said, here we go. Watch me. I'm going to absolutely go from Port Macquarie. So Port Macquarie, definitely New South Wales, isn't it, Hayden? So you can't have that one. Hayden's a filthy cane toad, for those who don't know. All right, let's go to our player of the year now. I'll go first because you've already stolen it when you were talking about it. My player of the year is Abby Church. As people said, I'm pretty sure she was robbed of the Dally M last year. Excellent Origin series. Just keeps growing and growing even more. So, yeah, my player of the year will be Abby Church. Taylor, we'll go to you next. You're going for player of the year?
My player of the year. I want to say Murphy. I love what she was doing last year. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Murphy. I think just what we saw from her last year. I think she's got lots of improvement to go, but this year she's gonna really stand out. I reckon she's going to do really, really, really well.
Yeah, you probably absolutely know as well. She's been named captain as well, obviously, with Abby Church. I forgot to mention that earlier. I didn't have that on our thing, but I did draw it up. So obviously the captains of the team this year. So huge responsibility, and usually you step up in that situation. Mary Kay, your player of the year?
You two have picked very, very good ones. I'm actually going to go with Cassie Tokuhiku. I think she's in for another big year. It's her second year playing in the halves, and I think we started to see her really grow in confidence towards the back end of last year. She's also got Rachel Pearson there for great support, so I think she'll have a great year and lead us to the grand final.
You've got a favourite, don't you? It's pretty clear she's your favourite. You mentioned her a couple of times. Like I've mentioned Tess a couple of times.
No, she's probably not. They're all my favourites. I don't play favourites amongst my children.
Hated.
Yeah, well,
hang on. Before you mention it, if you pick the one Queenslander, you're in trouble.
Well, what I was going to say is I was going to go I was trying to go a bit different here, but obviously you stole Abby Church. But I'm going to agree with Mary. I'm going to go with Casey because I think we see, especially being her second year, we see halves develop better with experience, and with Rachel having that experience and that energy around the team, such a good spine under Abby, I think Casey's in for a big year. So she's going to be my player of the year, I reckon. I agree with Mary there.
Yeah, fair. We can start us on the next talking point as well. Season expectations. As you said, an improved year last year. From finishing on the bottom to finishing fifth, just missing out on finals. Top six this year, 2 new teams come in. The Warriors obviously coming in. We know the Warriors are going to be huge. The Warriors are always huge. They're obviously in the competition pre-COVID as well. Obviously, a lot of New Zealand international players in that squad as well. And I guess a huge little area to pick from as well in that regard. And the Bulldogs as well. And the Bulldogs have recruited very well. It's funny when I think it was when the Tigers come in, we lost a lot of players to the Tigers, and then those same players seem to have gone across to the Bulldogs. I guess the benefit of those teams having their Harvey Norman Premiership teams and their Tasha Gale for quite a while is they've got a bit of culture there already. So it's definitely going to be a different year. Hayden, what's your expectations? How do you see the girls going? Where do you see them finishing?
Well, 12 teams this year, finishing fifth last year, 1 win outside the finals. Hopefully we can get there, do a bit better. So it's the top 5 or top 5 that go through. At least the top 6, I thought it was top 6 this year. Look, I think we probably do make the finals, surprise people again. I'm going to say the same spot as last year. I'm going to say that we finish 5th and make finals.
Yes, take that. And it's a different finals format as well, obviously. So how it works, just explain for those who don't know, with the top 6, first and second get the week off, third place 6th, fourth place 5th in a straight elimination, obviously into a prelim final the week after, and then into a final. So it's a 3-week final series. Taylor, expectations, where are the girls finishing?
I've got good hopes for the girls this year. I reckon they're going to do top 4 finish. I don't know. I think they would have learned a lot from the 2023 season. And last year they were building on everything they've been working on. So I reckon they're going to have a good year this year, top 4.
We'll take that. Mary?
I would be very disappointed, Adam, if they don't make the top 6. And I think we'll know quite a bit after this first game on Thursday night. The weather's probably not looking good in Sydney, which is a bit of a red herring. But I know Cronulla sort of knocked us out of finals contention last year, and that the women see this really as a grudge game. So I think we'll get a really good sense of where the team's at after how they show up on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm kind of going, I agree with you a little bit there. Obviously, a couple of players missing. Kennedy Malia is named on an extended bench as well. So some players to come back. So I see us finishing, I want to say third or fourth. I think Brisbane and the Roosters will finish in the top two. I think that's pretty
That were
much
my top two too.
Yeah, they're going to be definitely very close. I see Newcastle falling off a little bit. They've lost a couple of players, obviously, Tamika going up to Brisbane, and a couple of little changes there as well as some players. It's hard when so much success for so long. You got to change things up a bit. So I can see Newcastle falling off. I've got us fighting out for third with Cronulla. So yeah, I'll go third for that. Let's run through this team list for the first game as well. It is up, and as I said, I had a lot of difficulty. Don't worry. I'm just going to give this straight to you, Mary Kay. I'm not going to throw anyone on the bus again. I'm not going to try myself. So, going to run us through the first team list of the year.
All right. So we've got Abby Church, Zali Faye, another one of my favourite players, Rory Owen, Lindsay Tui, Martha Matayele, Cassie Tohu Hiku, Rachel Pearson, Elsie Albert, Ruben Charrington, Brianna Eels, Chloe Jackson, Paige Travis, Riverlee Arlo, Tanika Todd Hunter, Raishi Fa Amusili, Ruby Cheen Kennard Ellis, and Fleur Jin.
Lovely. So you nailed that. You absolutely nailed it. Let's do a little bit of a prediction before we move on from the NRLW and talk about last week's loss to the Dragons as well, which is going to be great fun. I'll bring everyone else in at that stage. Let's go a predicted score for this week. Hayden, I'll start with you. Give us a predicted score for this match.
Round one might be a bit of rust in the game for attack for both teams. Sharks are the home team. We're away. We've been good away last season. I'll go we'll win. I'll say we'll win by 8 points. I'll go with a scoreline of 22-14 to the Eels.
Yep. Take that. Take an 8-point win. Mary Kay, what are you going?
I'm going to go Eels win 10-4 in a low-scoring affair, given the weather in Sydney is appalling at the moment.
Yeah, I can't not agree with that. It's appalling everywhere. Taylor, is it sunny up there?
No, it's raining. Still raining.
Oh, there
here.
you go. That's terrible. I have to check with Jack later. He's about 2 hours north. He will see if it's raining there. But your prediction?
They're definitely going to win. I reckon it's going to be a high-scoring game because, as I said, it's the first game that everyone's going to be a little bit rusty trying to find the groove. I reckon 6 point difference, Parra win 20-26.
Take that. I'm going the opposite. I'm going the conditions. I can't get past the conditions, and like I said, yeah, everyone kind of says that first game of the year. I think they've only had the one trial as well. Obviously, it's probably some inter-club stuff and that as well. It was a pretty low scoring. So I'm going to go 14 points to 10. Parramatta to win the game. As Mary said, a bit of revenge. A bit of revenge would be great after last year. It's a team that eliminated us, but Cronulla is certainly a tough opposition. So if we can come out and win this game without Kennedy and without Malia, there'll be a huge result to showcase their season and what they're going to create. That's it. That's our NRLW preview done and dusted. We'll do a catch-up throughout the year, and obviously we'll be talking about it every week as well on the show. Are you girls happy to stick around? You just want to stick around for the review of the Dragons game? Or, I don't know, we might get a response from Mary about that in 5 minutes.
Do I? I don't know. Do I? I don't know.
We'll bring everyone else in, and we're still waiting on Longy and Jason. I don't know where they are. I told them 8:15, be ready. They're not ready.
How many people are going to be on this screen? Like
I don't know. We're gonna make it work. All right. So boom, 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 and we've still got some more to come in. So Jack, you've got the important seat over there. Actually, let's put Troy over there. There you go, Troy. You've had a promotion.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
100%. So I don't know where Jason and Longy are, but they're not on time. So we're going to start with Adam. But before we do that, he says he'll be in just before 8:15. So we're going to quickly say it again, as we always do. So make sure you share the podcast. Obviously, it did start at 7:45. It's now 8:15. $100 Leafs Club voucher. Share it. Once you've shared it, comment shared. Jez will star it. We'll draw it at the end. You've got 30 seconds to claim. If it doesn't go off in that 30 seconds, you have a $100 or jackpot to $150 next week. I love the jackpot, eh? I'm sorry, Khaled. I love the jackpot, and you know it. So Let's quickly talk about this game before everyone else is joining us. So, look, Parramatta obviously went down at 34 points to 20. Myself and Hayden were sitting there. It was a terrible first half. Actually, I'll lie. It was a disgraceful first half. All the good work from the last few weeks just seemed to be gone, seemed to be wasted. I went down there and I wasn't planning on going. I went down there thinking to myself, we're going to win this game. I've got a feeling we're going to win this. But I don't know what happened in that first half. I was talking to Zach Lomax in the hotel after it, and he didn't seem to know what happened as well. The boys just weren't on. It didn't happen. So credit to them for bouncing back in the second half. They showed quite a lot. I think they would have got an almighty serve by Jason Riles. I haven't seen the footage, but apparently he went. He's gone full Craig Bellamy, and we've been waiting for him to go Craig Bellamy for quite a while. So, look, your thoughts on the game, Troy? You've been quite a while. Welcome, Troy. How you going?
Thank you very much. Yeah, not too bad. Bit cold and wet and windy down here in New South Wales, but Penrith territory. But yeah, disappointed about the loss. But the quick little bit I did see of Jason Riles, he looked pretty calmish. So it wasn't a real big rant at halftime, I don't think. But look, it was disappointing. It was such a good start the first set. I thought, yeah, we're on here, but then Damien Cook made that break, and the Dragons went on from that. And the first half really blew us out of the water. So it was good that they came back in the end. Just wasn't enough. So disappointing to get the loss.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome, Longy. Been talking pretty much just bags the whole time you haven't been here, running late. What kind of bloke who do you think he is? Your thoughts on Saturday night's game?
Sorry, which game was it? The last weekend's game?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
last week, yeah.
We're going to get some storming round one, mate.
It was a tough one. It was a tough one to swallow. I thought we had some good signs. We've got a lot of young players in our team, so week-to-week consistency is a challenging thing. But I thought we had some good signs from, Keone Kautonga wasn't super hyped up in the post-game, but I thought he ran some really nice lines, was good defensively. I'm just liking the way our team is shaping up. So as much as the game wasn't great, there are a lot of good individual performances.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll go to you, Mary Kay. Oh, no, I've got to go Jack, actually. I've kept Jack quiet for quite a while. Jack, hey, Yeah. I want him to confirm first of all what the weather's doing on the Sunshine Coast. Is it cold, wet, miserable?
Yeah, look, I will say whoever named it the Sunshine Coast has lied to us. It's been terrible weather. It does nothing but rain. I can't play my C-grade OSTAG. Life's struggling at the moment. Had to spend my Saturday night getting rinsed by my loser Dragon supporter friend. I can't catch a break at the moment.
Do you need a hug, Jack?
I do, but I got that off my mum a bit earlier. But I appreciate it, Troy. You're a real one.
No worries. Yeah.
I saw no Tui Plotu, Nathan Lawson. I went, how good. They're strike left edge. Don't have to worry about it. Only to see Damien Cook bust through the middle. And that was.
Did you know that?
What was that?
Cookie used to be a beach sprinter. Did you know that?
Is he? Was he?
Really? Are you?
Yeah.
No.
He showed it early on. He beach sprinted through us.
He did beach. Yeah. Oh, man. He was fast. I reckon he would have won a couple of beach sprinting comps in his lifetime.
Anyway, get on to the game.
First half was the worst first half I've seen Parramatta play since Melbourne. Ready to turn it off. They gave me a glimmer of hope in the second half. Me and Chris may have done a dance when we got within 6, only for Mr. Lomax to decide that the best time to offload is when there's 6 defenders around him, and Holmes strolled past Lussick to score a try, and that just hurt. I like that one. I appreciate that. Didn't even notice that. Too busy reflecting on.
What are you on tonight? He's not okay. Let's go to Mary Kay for her opinion now. We just shunned Jack to the naughty seat over here on the left.
My opinion, Adam. That first half, I just sometimes this team, I just don't understand. Based on all the progress we've seen over the last couple of weeks, defense has been a huge focus, and it was just appalling. It absolutely stunk. And I'm wondering whether Riley Smith is that important to us. He was out. Did we miss his energy? I have no explanation. And I think that's when I find it the most difficult, when this team absolutely just confounds me. And it's happened so many times over the years. great fight back in the second half, but we should never have been in that position in the first place. And I think a real missed opportunity. Like, I'm not really thinking we'll make the top 8, but if we'd won that game, we really could have gone on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wrote us off a couple of weeks ago when we lost to the Dogs, but I wrote us off, but I thought to myself, if we can win these games, if there's a chance, because, bye, 2 wins, bye, and then obviously a pretty tough game against Penrith. But the Dragons was that make or break game. As I said, went down there with expectations and left disappointed. Something Jack said about hugging everyone in the lounge room. I'm pretty sure me and Hayden hugged at 26-all. We were that excited. I was standing on a chair. I was started, double burden around me, giving it to absolutely everyone that was mouthing off at us at 26-4. And then obviously, yeah, history
Mistake.
happened. Yeah, no, early Crow got me big time. It could have been worse. They could have sent it to the bunker and ruled no try. I could have been crapping on for another minute and a half. But, you win some, you lose some. Taylor, your thoughts on the game?
Well, I was the same as you. I was going in. I was like, we're going to win this. I just have a good feeling we're going to win it. And then, 3 or 5 minutes in, I just seen Damien Cook sprint through the middle of it. So I was like, oh, shit, got to turn this off now. I can tell what game this is going to be. But no, when they came out the second half, I had high hopes again. I seen Addo Carr sprint up the sideline. I was like, oh my God, we're on. And then, foot touched the line. So then that got taken away. But you know what? I was impressed. I was impressed because the Parramatta team last year, they would have let that lead blow out even more. So they actually fought back and got to, the score doesn't look as bad now. It could have been a lot worse if it was a team playing last year.
You're actually right. And not even last year, at the start of the year, Melbourne, Canberra, we kind of gave up in those games and it got embarrassing. And there was a real fear at the ground, especially in the away bay. I want to share that too. There was a lot of Parramatta supporters there, an absolute lot of Parramatta supporters. Last time I went to Wollongong, because I don't play there very often. I think Troy said 6 years, was it, Troy, since they last played there?
2018, I think.
So 7 years since they last had a game there.
Yeah.
Last time I went there was 2013. We just come off the back of a wooden spoon, 2012. We're sitting last in 2013. I think we won about 2 games. Went there on a cold June in the middle of winter, and I think there was about 20 Parramatta fans there. So go down there on Saturday night, and I've watched a replay back, as you do, and to hear the Parra chant, obviously we're starting it with the drum. There's probably about 6,000 or 7,000 Parramatta fans there at least. It was huge. Everyone that's watched the game so they could hear it on TV. It was great to see how many Parramatta fans, even though we're coming, third last, I guess the fans haven't given up on this team. The fans are actually sensing a bit of excitement with some of the young players there, and that's great to see. Hayden, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, there are plenty of forms of torture in life, but none more than watching the first 25 minutes of this game at the gym this morning, which I did to prepare for this podcast. But, yeah, I was I didn't expect to get that one, but there we go. Yeah, disgraceful. There's positive and negatives to take out of the game. You guys make a good point in the fact that the old team and even the start of the year, this looked like it was going to be an absolute blowout. St. George looked like they were putting 40, 50 points on us easy here, and it looked like. And there was a bit of mentality shown to sort of make the game close and momentum going our way. There were some good moments, especially in that second half. But overall, this was just a tough game to watch and a really bad start from the get-go. So, it was almost impossible to win when you put yourself in that position with that kind of start.
Do you want to talk about the ribs quickly as well? And let people know how your ribs were?
Cold. No, they were good, but they were cold. Thank you for the $20 discount, Meat and Grain.
Yeah, we went to this Meat and Grain store in Wollongong, and for 4 of us for dinner, I think we only had me and you had a drink. Hayden had a cocktail. What was it?
Ooh.
Margarita.
Splashing out.
Give me one margarita. I'll cheer for Parra.
Yeah.
No, don't sing that song, Hayden.
And the lady come over and goes, what would you like? I said, I'm trying to be a good boy. I'll have a vodka, lime and soda. And she goes, did you win or lose? I said, lost. She goes, do you want a double? I was like, yes. She got it. She got it straight away. So I had a double, $320 for 4 of us for dinner for the ribs to come out cold. So it was a bit of a sore point that, the night was going so well. The food come out, the steak was good, the sides were good, everything was outstanding, and then the ribs come out and they were cold. And
just to add to this, guys, Meat and Grain, I know what you were doing. It wasn't funny. All the bottles of wine around the building after the Parramatta loss, I don't know why, but they all said ha ha. H-A, 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 all around the room. Ha 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 ha.
So I'm tipping they're not going to become a sponsor of the podcast by the sounds of this.
It's up to you, mate.
I don't think so. Just that photo, guys. Obviously, we have a very professional podcast now. There's lots of things I could have done with that photo, but if Jez posts it in the chat, you can be as creative as you want to be. All right, just send them in. Might be a prize for the best one that comes in by a message. All right, let's because I had a whole thing planned up. I was like, look, I probably can't do that anymore. It's not 2024. Anyway, let's move on from that. Let's talk about our player of the match. I think Jason's joined us. No one knows where Jason is. He just disappeared. He's gone. He's coming. He's come. He's gone. He's late. I don't know what's going on. Jez, is he coming? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Player of the match. This was quite a difficult one. I've gone with Isaiah Iongi. That was the vote. I think it was 2 votes to. Oh, it was very mixed actually, but 2 try assists, 4 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 18 runs, 175 run meters. Longy, who was your man of the match? I know you went someone else.
Yeah, I went Kautonga, but both back rowers could have won it, really. Both 100 meters plus. Kautonga had a couple of offloads, that try assist. Love seeing him run that line and just absolutely demolish Kyle Flanagan as well. That was a nice moment in the game. So, yeah, I just think he's evolving beautifully. And as a back rower, he's 10 games into his career. You just got to keep reminding yourself of that. He's so far ahead of where he should be. So he's been awesome. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, he has. And obviously, we'll get to it later. He signed that extension as well, but and please refer to him by his official name.
Sorry, mate. Kit Kat. Kit Kat.
If you ever get it wrong again, because it's growing. I saw when Parramatta Eels announced his re-sign the other day, people commenting Kit Kat everywhere. So it is growing, and we're going to make it happen. I've got one of the boys onto it. They're going to start calling him Kit Kat around the playing group as well. So he'll be officially known as Kit Kat by the end of the year everywhere. Your player of the match, Jack?
I originally went Iongi when after the first watching the game. I then have watched highlights. I'm going to backflip. I'm going Kelma. I thought he defended really well, which is usually a sore point for him. And he just hits such nice lines. Like he's one of the best. I think he's one of the best whole line running back rows in the comp. And I think he gets nearly enough of his flowers. But as Kelma likes to do, he had to ruin it by doing a crusher and getting suspended for 4 weeks. But baby steps. I was happy with the first 75 minutes, which is more than usual.
Yeah, he hit some form earlier and got copped a suspension as well, then come back and copped another suspension. There's a lot of people blowing up on it. There's actually a crusher tackle in our game the week before against the Titans. I think it might have been Hopgood. I'm reasonably sure it was Hopgood, and it was a lot worse than that. I thought he should have got 2 or 3 weeks for that. It was the classic pick up and drop crusher tackle, and he escaped suspension. And then now Kelmer's got suspended because he's got carryover points. So it's a weird one. Taylor, your man of the match?
Well, mine would have been Iongi as well, but you've already said that. So I want to bring up Joash Papali'i, if that's how you say his last name. But I think when he came on, he changed the whole energy of the team when Lussick went off, and he was doing his thing. I think that's where we got lots of our points when he was on. I don't know why he was taken off again, but I think he had a real good game.
Still a sore point. I knew you were going to go there. I was about to say, if you were the coach, would you have taken him off? But yeah, it's still a sore point. He should have stayed on. You're right. He changed the game. And I think he featured pretty highly in our comments as well and finished 4th in the fan vote. Your player of the match, Troy?
Yeah, look, I'm agreeing with my man, Jack. Kelma for me. Scored the try. Made the line breaks, tackle breaks, 40 tackles. And that mistake that he did make could have been a penalty to Parramatta. So the crusher tackle, well, DeBellin just jumped straight back up, didn't he? So couldn't have been that bad. So yeah, couldn't have been that bad. So it doesn't deserve 3 weeks for that one. But yeah, Kelma for me. Cops a lot of criticism. Some of it right, some of it wrong, but that was his best game in blue and gold, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Jack DeBellin always seems to land on his feet, doesn't he, Troy? Hayden, your thoughts on the player of the match?
Yeah, well, I said it to you in Wollongong, Adam. I want to give an honourable mention here to Joash Papali'i. Changed the momentum when he came on. Should have had more minutes. It was ridiculous. But again, if you're only going to use him for 10 minutes a game, you're better off putting him in a reserve grade and developing him, which is disappointing because he could have been man of the match. But for me, I'm going Josh Adokar. A bit left field here, but I think he really took the carries, opened up space, got the team that space that they needed to score some tries, defended well where he can. I think he's having a really nice year and he's deserved that contract extension. So I actually went Josh Adokar. Everyone has a different pick and I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Love it. Harry, take us out of here. Who you got? Player of the match?
I just wanted to say actually how encouraging it is to see names like Joash, Yongi, and who's the other one? Joash, Yongi, and one of our other young bloods. Oh, Gideon, Kit Kat. It's so encouraging to see the three of those players mentioned because they are newbies, and we often give Yongi a lot of leeway. Like he's young, he's going to make mistakes. I think we have to treat Gideon/Kit Kat exactly the same way. So I'm actually really pleased to see those three players mentioned, and I think it speaks volumes about what Jason Riles has done with that next generation, and I think the future looks really bright.
Yeah, that's a promising point as well. And it's funny you mentioned that because I'll go to this now before we go to other thing. But when we do our Player of the Year leaderboard, traditionally it has been those new players to the club, like Lomax, obviously leading at 14 points, Iongi with 11 points, Williams 10 points, Smith 9, Josh Adekar 9, Hawkins 7. Like Paulo's the first, I guess, old player to feature on that list. So it shows how much these new players have bought into, I guess, the culture that Jason Riles is trying to offer. So huge start for that right there. Let's talk about our defender of the match this week. And I'm going to let you obviously talk about this one quite a bit, Troy, as well, because you've already given him a wrap. But our defender of the match was Kelma Talangi. 43 tackles at 93 success rate, 69 minutes. And he didn't get it for that reason. It's going to seem quite ironic now. But he got it for the aggression of the tackles. He looked like, when we were getting beat off those kickoffs and they had, 3 kickoffs in 8 minutes or whatever it was, he looked like he actually wanted to smash people. There was aggression in his tackle. He looked like it was hurting him. It looked like it meant something to him. And when David Clemmer was coming off the back fence and trying to step away from someone to run at the 5'8" in the centers and wingers like he does, Kelmer stood up and tried to whack him. So that's why he got the defender of the week this week. Your thoughts on his defensive effort, Troy?
Well, as you said, he just really wanted to make his mark on the game and smash people, make a statement in this game. And after the few games that he has had this season, he just wanted to, belt people.
He did. He actually just wanted to belt people. It's fucking amazing, Troy. You nailed that. That was perfection. Yeah, that's why we give you the front line all the time. Jack, your thoughts on Kelmer's performance?
Well, it was good because we know that he loves to shoot up and try and whack people. He did it against Penrith last year. I think he whacked Martin and injured himself doing it. But he's always loved to try and put people down. But it's good to see that he actually read the defense a bit better now. Like 93% success rate. You don't see that very often from Kelmer. It's either big shot or no shot. So steadily improving under Mr. Ryle. So I'm content. I'm a happy man with him at the moment.
It's funny you say that because 93% compared to that first half, I think we missed 19 tackles in the first half. So 93% was actually a pretty good defensive effort when you look at it for a second row and a middle player. He floated around there. It's time to go to Longy. It's his favourite segment. It's Stats with Longy.
Math is a wonderful thing. Math is a really cool thing. So get off your act, let's do some math. Math.
Welcome back to Math with Longy, guys. Here to talk to you about all the things that you might have missed in the stat sheet. And I'm going to paint a picture this week of how we really won that game. Let's forget about the score sheet. We did a lot of things right in that game, and I think we deserved to win, so I'm going to remember it as one. Now, tearing into the stats here, we won a lot of stats that usually would have led to wins. So possession, we were up 53% to 47%. Time with ball in hand, we had 4 more minutes with the ball in hand. We had a better completion rate, 85 to 82%. Our run meters were higher as well. Post-contact meters a bit behind there. We had more line breaks, which surprised me when I look back. And tackle breaks were ahead too, 36 to 30. Our average set was longer, and there's a lot of stats here, but one stat that never comes our way is the average play the ball speed. It's still a bit slower there. In attack, more offloads, 14 to 10. We threw less dummies, but our kick defusal percentage remains higher as well. So we diffused about 80% of kicks compared to St. George's 40%. So I really felt like we had a lot of chances to win this game, but unfortunately, just a few moments of class in defense and attack cost us. And I feel like as I go through the stats every week, that's kind of the story I'm telling most of the time, that, we played hard. We won a lot of the battles that we need to win games, but just couldn't quite class those polished moments. And that's one thing that I think will come together over the next year or two. So again, I'm taking it as a positive. Boys played well. Just a few big moments where we let ourselves down.
Yeah, it's a fair indication. I guess we're always going to dominate some of the stats the way we come back into the game, but, I guess the biggest stat you probably didn't touch on was those 19 missed tackles and some of those lazy efforts to start the game. That I just
And I was
think
trying to be an upper. You know?
I know you're trying to focus on the
Positive.
positives, but at the end of the day, we lost the game as well. We lost the game because of that early effort and those lazy missed tackles, which, like I get it. If we, come on a 5-day turnaround or something and we just played 6 games in a row, but we had to buy, we beat the Gold Coast and a 6-day turnaround. We should have been up for that game. I just don't know why we missed the jump. I'm still confused by it because you watch that first try back, Cookie, the beach sprinter, former beach sprinter. Once again, everyone didn't know. He just jumps out of dummy half. Hopgood gets left on the ground. Lussick doesn't cover it. It's simple shit that shouldn't have happened, to be honest. And it didn't seem to happen with two, Walker's obviously very experienced, but Joash a lot more inexperienced. Certainly Hooker coming opposite dominated that position as well. But let's move on from that. Let's move on from that side of things. We've got one more thing, obviously, to talk about in the game. It's been pretty controversial. So I'm going to get everyone's opinion, first of all, about this. Now, this dress, all right? We'll start with you, Hayden. What colour is it?
It's white and gold, mate.
Mary?
Blue and black.
Yeah. Jack?
White and gold.
Longy?
It's blue and gold.
I knew he was going to do it. I knew someone would. Taylor, what colour is it?
I swear, if you can't see white and gold, you need to go to Specsavers. I don't understand.
Jack?
White and gold.
Okay, it's black and blue for me. So I think
Specsavers it is for you, Adam.
Is there an indication of age or something there? Did all the older ones just go black and blue? I think
He didn't even ask me.
Troy, what colour was
You asked me twice and skipped Troy.
It's white and gold.
The dress was in the way. It's white and gold. All right. So me and Mira, they ones that says black and blue, aren't we? It's black and blue. It's black and blue anyway. Well, it just brings us to this.
You sure?
Yeah, it's black and blue. I've been sure since it happened like 15 years ago, how long ago. It's black and blue. I'll ask you this question. In or out, everyone?
We're talking about colours. I can see a line of green on that one.
You got my answer on the screen.
Yeah, so I'll come around to you, Troy. In or out?
In, as Longy said, you can see green there.
Taylor, in or out?
You can literally see the blades of grass. It's definitely in.
Yep. So we're all agreeing. We're all agreeing. Longy?
Definitely in, and Touchy's not even looking at it.
Jack?
Yeah, definitely in. I'm impressed you could see that Josh Adekar's foot through the quad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mary?
It should have been sent upstairs. That's my big bugbear. That really is. Like, why wasn't play allowed to continue so that we could at least check it? I'm a Parramatta fan. It's in.
It's in. Yep, we're going with in. Hayden?
It's in. Me and you were yelling exactly what Mary said there. Why aren't we going upstairs? Why aren't we checking it? And when I first saw it at the game, I thought, okay, maybe that was out. But the more I've analysed this, it's fucking in.
And there was a few more words used, Hayden. There was a lot more words used than check the bunker. If anyone wants to watch Hayden's vlog, you'll hear me say words you'll never hear me probably say again. Yeah, wasn't very happy as I was giving it to the people around me. I obviously thought it was in as well. Based on that angle as well, obviously being a photo, there's a chance the line could be blurred. We've got to take things into consideration there. Now, we're going to bring one more person in here, and we're going to get his opinion.
You know what? Just quickly, you know what the strange thing about it is? There was talk that they're actually going to change that rule of when the touch judge brings up his flag, that you can actually go to the bunker and have a look at it.
What's the point of having touch judges then? There's no point for having touch judges anymore in the game. Like,
they tell you when a conversion's been made.
Yeah, but you can see that on TV. Okay, so at a local level, right, and this just happens, touch judges often don't turn up, or we don't get touch judges because there's not a lot allocated. So you can get someone from your club to obviously run the sideline. The rules they can do, they can literally conversions and where the ball goes out. Surely that's all stuff in the NRL you can do using technology. Like, the technology's there. They don't call forward passes very much, that's for sure, especially ones from dummy half. All right, we're getting sidetracked again. Jez?
Yep.
Everyone else has said it's in. Is it in or out?
We're talking about our belly buttons, Jez.
Yeah. Look, watching it live, we can't base it on that still because the touchy, his eyes are kind of going like this and he's not even looking. Mika just commented that it's not a line of grass that you can see. It is the back part of his boot or even the side of his boot. Watching that live, I thought he touched the line as much of Jared Hayne in 2000 and whatever that was in Origin.
2009.
Got a little bit of the line there. So unfortunately, it was out. I think the main part is here that we're getting upset because the touchy made a decision when we're not used to that. We are not used to those guys putting their flags up in big moments. We're not used to those guys and girls making those big calls. So without my Parramatta glasses on, I called it out live.
You
Okay,
don't have Parramatta glasses.
It's been fun having you. See ya.
Get him out of here.
Yeah,
Look,
Adam, we actually don't have to be
still
impartial,
there.
by the way. This is a para podcast, so maybe you
How's
just
he still
refrain
there?
from that.
Who's missing? Who's missing?
Taylor.
Taylor, hang on, Taylor. You're gone. You'll come back. Hang on. I don't know how to remove you.
If it was Caleb Ponga, it'd be in.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing,
Cameron.
Troy.
Well, the
That's
thing
the
is, Panthers
Yeah.
versus Dragon. Panthers try.
Well, here's what I want to say, and Jez has absolutely nailed it. The touch judge missed. Literally, there was more escorts there than King's Cross. Like, there was that many escorts on Zach Lomax throughout that game that they did not call. There was forward passes. There was blatant ruck infringements, and the touchy decided to make that call. Why did the touchy decide to make that one call is what has frustrated me. Now, look, if it goes upstairs, the touchy's probably going to say to the referee, I think his foot was on the line, and it goes up as no try anyway. They won't overturn that. There'll be no conclusive evidence. If the touchy does what the touchy does for 99% of the season and just ignores that, it's probably a try to Parramatta, and it's 26-all, and I think we go on to win that. But like I said, it's not the frustrating the touchy made the call because, look, it may be right, it may not be right. The problem is they just don't make enough calls. I think that's kind of all we need to say about that. I think it's what's left. Everyone at Parramatta pretty frustrated, all the fans, everyone. So final status at top performers. I'll run through this quickly. There's no real surprise there. Zach Lomax often leads that, 21 runs. Isaiah Ongi, 19 runs. Run meters, Lomax 197. Adokar 173. Kelma, big step-up game as touched on, 162 meters. Tries to Lomax, Josh Adokar, Talangi, and Hawkins. Top tackles, Williams with 43. Kelma, Talangi with 40. Joe Lussick, 37. And the Kit the Cat with a 31. Be a mad rap name, mate, if he was a rapper as well. The Kit the Cat. Tackle breaks, Josh Adokar 8, Kit Kat 6, Zach Lomax 5, Isaiah Ongi 4. Is this your usual leaders there? Pretty obvious that Kelma stepped up and Kit Kat as well had a massive crack, as touched on earlier. Let's move on from that. There's been some massive news this week, obviously, in the Parramatta world. It's been signings galore. Look, we obviously bagged out a lot of the recruitment last year, and we've come out and we've spoken about that this year. There's a lot of controversy, a lot of talk about the Lachlan Galvin situation when we missed that. And people saying, we never seem to land any players. We asked Jim, will Parramatta land their next big target? Will Parramatta be that confident their next big target, we can get him? Now, I'll say now, Talon De Silva has been on the eyes of Parramatta since about February. Now, obviously, they couldn't talk to him because the opportunity wasn't there to talk to him. But everyone knew that Galvin was going to leave, and De Silva is Galvin's best mate. He was always going to leave the Tigers as well. We bought some tickets to the Tigers game back in, when was that? Probably February, around that February, and I got told by some of the Tigers that he was ready to go and wants to come to Parramatta. So here he is. He's at Parramatta. Your thoughts on that signing, Troy?
Yeah, look, I think it's a very good one. I mean, he's only young in his career and should work hand in hand with Riley Smith. How they play those roles will be interesting. A lot of debate between fans whether who should start, who should bench. And the like, but look, it's good. Parramatta's gone out to get someone, and they've got someone taking a young prospect away from the Tigers.
Yeah, something going on with the Tigers at the moment because they just can't seem to keep them, can they? Hayden, your thoughts on the De Silva signing?
Yeah, at first I was a little bit skeptical on this one. I thought Riley Smith is having a fantastic year, and I didn't want De Silva to come into that 9 jersey and push Riley to a 14, even though I know that Riley may not sometimes be able to play 80. But now that I've seen Parramatta lock up Riley Smith and sign De Silva, I'm impressed by it. I'm looking forward to seeing the rotation. It's a dangerous rotation for the future. And, we'll probably see him for the Panthers game. Obviously, Riley's suspended. So hopefully we've seen the last of Joey Lussick.
Yeah, look, constructive criticism, remember, Hayden. We've seen the last of Joey Lussick because he's not as good an attacker and defender as the other two. Anyway, let's move on from that signing. Let's talk about the Kit Kat. The Kit Kat extends as well. Huge contract there, very deserved. Mary Kay, your thoughts on Kit Kat's extension?
I'm delighted. I really am. I think Gideon's really improved. Sorry, Gideon or Kit Kat? Are we going Kit Kat? We're going Kit Kat. All right, we're going Kit Kat. I think Kit Kat has improved dramatically over the last 10 weeks. I'm really enjoying some of the lines he's running. He's starting to learn the game a little bit better as well. And I think just like we've given a bit of leeway to some of our younger players coming through and the mistakes that we know they'll make, I think the same needs to be afforded to him. And I'm really pleased with his development, and congratulations to him. It's well deserved.
Yeah, for sure. Massive signing. Long you touched on him, like he's only 11, 12 games into his career, 10 games, something like that. Just keeps getting better and better. Longer, your thoughts on the extension to the Kat?
Yeah, look, much like a real Kit Kat, I feel like we're breaking off new blocks of chocolate with each week that goes past. And he's really added that. That was lame, but Kit Kat should sponsor us. Come on,
terrible.
As long as he doesn't become,
man.
as long as he doesn't become Kit Kat chunky.
Maybe he goes into prop later in his career. But what we're seeing is him put the head down and just realize, hey, you know what? I'm a massive fucking unit. I'm just going to truck through some guys. And we're starting to see that in combination with 2 to 3 offloads a week. And what else do you need from an edge back row, right? Like he is everything we require in that position. In my head, I've got him penciled in for the next 10 years as our starting back rower. And the other spot is a bit of competition there. Kelmer's obviously putting his hand up, but I sort of see Jack Williams moving back to the edge in future and us beefing up the prop spot. So, yeah, Kit Kat doing great, absolutely killing it. And just on the hooker signing as well, 2 hookers, that's how we've done well in the past. So think of PJ Marsh back in the day, Kevin Kingston in 09. There's not really an 80-minute hooker in the game who plays exclusively for 80 minutes. And I think those 2, for us, can do that. So massive differentiator.
I was actually going to say
Speaking my language, Lonnie, with those players.
Yeah, he's showing his age, isn't he? He certainly is. Look, I was going to talk about that when we got to the Royal Extended, but all the top teams seem to have that. All the top teams have been so successful over the years, have that 2 hooker rotation. You got to find that balance and you got to find your moments. That's the big thing. I'll talk more about it when we get to Riley. Let's talk about Joash as well while we're at that now. So Joash Papali'i, look, it's come out this week by Michael Chalmers that Joash Papali'i, Parramatta have made a decision not to sign a 5'8". They're going to put all their faith in Joash Papali'i to play 5'8". So it's obviously great news. Joash, obviously, everyone here is a massive fan of him. Jason would have got so excited by this if he's here, but he's not here. He said, right, Jason is okay, everyone. When we keep saying he's not here, he's still with us. But
that's what happens when you take the referee in the car park, mate.
Yeah.
So looking forward to his rant tonight too.
Yeah, his rant was going to be
chased the referee in the car park. Me and Adam saw him, so we sat him out for this one. You saw the live stream.
Yeah, he had to sit in the pleb section. I don't think he's handling it real well, so he's taken a week off because he sat in the away
relish.
Sitting in the corporate section. He had a tomato sauce with a normal pie. It was a terrible day for him. Taylor, you mentioned Joash before being exciting. How good is it to see Joash? Obviously, the club is looking to extend him. They're negotiating that now. We'll negotiate with his manager now, but looks like he'll play 5'8" next year. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm super keen to see him. I think his mindset, he's got the best mindset. Like you would have seen all the videos of him on the sideline when he's on the bench, cheering everyone on, going crazy for him. I think that's what I love about him the most is he's so passionate about the game. And obviously he's got a lot to learn, like his footy IQ and everything. But I think the most powerful thing is his mindset. Like he's just so happy to be there. He's so willing to put in the energy. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. And I think that's who we need at 5'8".
Yeah, 100%. I just think it's money we didn't need to spend elsewhere as well. Like, to beef up that front row. We've got the ability of someone to do it. We've still got young Lorenzo coming through as well. Matt Hunter's currently playing in New South Wales Cup, so we've certainly got some options there. I'll ask Jack the hard question, though. Jack, is this the man that's going to replace the tattoo on your leg? Is he going to be the one that's going to be covered up?
Well, after some thinking, I've decided to stop getting rugby league players named on my leg. Dylan Brown is the man that has ruined it for everyone. But look, super keen to see Joash. I think the thing that sticks out to me the most is watching him celebrate someone else scoring a try. As they're putting the ball down, he's dancing. I'm waiting for him to do a backflip as someone's putting the ball down. He's just so keen. He gets around it. He gets around it. He just tells how much he loves Parra, how much he's grateful to be given the opportunity. I reckon he's going to absolutely kill it. I'm almost at the stage Well, I'm ready to move Dylan Brown on early. I'm nearly there.
Well, it's too late. And we can move him on New South Wales Cup, but it's too late to actually move him on. It's past the 30th of June. He's obviously asked that
Oh,
question.
I meant New South Wales Cup. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you moving him off your leg early? I don't know. Anyway,
I'd
look,
have to cut the leg off at this rate, and that's not happening.
It is try July as well. Actually, I forgot that. So I'm actually interested to see what Joe Ash comes up with. He sees an excitement machine. I think the boys haven't been the best at getting around that in the last couple of years. I reckon they will this year. I reckon there's a bit of excitement. There's really good culture around there. We scored the tries, and we do play Penrith, Canberra, Brisbane, and Melbourne during Try July, guys. I just want to put that out there. It's a wonderful try.
Aren't you doing Dry July, Adam?
I do Try July all the time. I'm not a pisshead like you. It's easy. That's no problem for me. I can easily do it. Anyway, let's move on to the next extension. Riley has extended, come out today. He's been upgraded next year to a top 30 spot in 2027. So 2-year extension. Look, a lot of people are saying, why only 2 years? We've obviously signed Talon 4.5 years till the end of 2029. We do still have young Lachlan Kanarkas coming through, who the club has huge raps on. So I think it's a great idea to extend him by 2 years. We didn't want to extend him by 4 years as well. If we extended him by 4 years, it simply means we've got those 2 young hookers locked in, and we block a path for Lachlan if his game continues to develop. So it's a very smart move. It means we don't end up having to pay a salary cap for someone else. So your thoughts on the Riley extension, Longy?
Yeah, it's a great one. Like I said before, 2 hookers is going to be awesome. We've seen St. George run 2 hookers this year, and Damien Cook, Jacob Little have played sort of 60 and 50 minutes a game. So it's about 30 minutes where they cross over and one of them plays as a bit of an undersized lock. That's what I expect to happen here too. The other thing with Riley Smith as well is that game we saw him come off the bench. That was the most lethal he's looked in a Parra jersey. Like, he's been working hard every other game. He's an absolute dog. But in that game, we saw him rushing out a dummy half, creating those half chances. I think him getting a rest is going to make people realize, hey, this guy's got a ton of attack in him as well. So I think we're going to see the best out of both of them. We'll see them play a bit of lock. He creates a bit of a problem at lock, though, with Hopgood, Dylan Walker, that sort of thing. We've got to figure out how that works, but it's all good news.
Yeah, the next team list is well, so much the next one, because obviously Riley's still suspended for another game, but the team list after that's going to be very interesting. I think you've nailed it. I see Talon starting. I see Riley. Well, Talon will start next week, you'd have to think. I see Riley going to 14, playing that undersized lock, and I think they complement each other really well. Like, Riley's a great defender. Might be the reason I actually probably start Riley. I'm just about to go back on what I said. Start Riley for that first 20. He's a solid defender. Very rarely misses a tackle, maybe 1 or 2 a game, if that. Start him there, but I see Talon as having that bit of an explosiveness after that first 25, 30 minutes, dummy half, when you start to get some tired forwards around the ruck. Bring Talon on, playing for that next 20, 30, and kind of see how the game's going. You got to look at it as if okay, do we need a defender for the last 20 minutes, or do we need an attacker? And I think we've got that perfect balance there. Your thoughts on it, Hayden?
I love Riley Smith. I absolutely think he's been sensational this year. I think he's been one of our better players. So young, so much talent. And, when you see a player in your team, sometimes they have their bad games and everyone's calling them to be dropped. And we're now 17 games into Riley's career and we've never called for him to be dropped. So I think he deserves this extension. I think, as you said, it's the right amount of years to look towards the future as well. If we develop Talon De Silva and he becomes an elite hooker with a premiership to his name next year, which is going to happen, then, there's future there. There's young guns all around. It's exciting times.
Yeah, definitely is exciting times. But that's not the end of the signing news. There is obviously one more signing that has happened. It hasn't been announced yet by the club, but Jack de Belin has signed. It's a 2-year deal. It's a 1 year with a club option for the second year. Look, there's obviously a bit of controversy around this one with what happened. I don't think anyone's kind of arguing the player that Jack de Belin is. Yes, he's 34, but he missed 3 years of the game. 3 years of football obviously means he's got a bit left in him. Look, there's been a few developments in this game. He did sign last Wednesday, I believe it was. He signed the contract. Now, there is a 10-day cooling off period. There's a little bit of a rumor floating around today. We have seen the Dragons announce he's left, but we haven't seen the Eels announce he's signing it because they can't do that till the 10 days. There's a bit of a rumor floating around that the Dragons are trying desperately to keep him now because a third-party sponsor has stepped in to try and keep him at the club. So I guess we'll kind of wait and see what happens in that regard. I don't know how true it is. It's just floating around. I've had it sent to me about 7 or 8 times today by different people, including some Dragons fans. But if Jack comes, look, off-field stuff happens. I know everyone's pretty split on that. I've got my thoughts now on it. to a lot of people and a lot of things around. I did a TikTok video about it as well. But as a player, I still think he's got something left, and I think he'll help our young players coming through. If we look at his stats compared to some of our top players, now this obviously doesn't take last week's game into consideration. He is right up there. Now, Junior's obviously going to be our starting front rower. Junior's been back to his best form, and Williams has probably been our most consistent forward. As you can see, Jack DeBellin, having played a similar amount of games, he's giving away a lot less errors. That's obviously total, one less error. But penalties across the year, 5 isn't too many. Tackles 96%. At 34 years old, making 96% of your tackles is huge. The amount of tackles he's made, averaging 31.6, 13 runs, run meters 111. So he's still got something left in the tank, Jack. I think he'll be desperate to want to play 300 games as well. I know he's very close. And given the amount of time he missed out of the game, if he plays 300 games, it's obviously a pretty big achievement for him. I think he'll get, another 13 games. He'll have to play 2 full seasons at Parramatta. Your thoughts on the signing, Troy?
Oh, look, I think it's a good one, I guess, because of his football standards. Not really going to get into the off-field stuff, but I think you just have to look at it as a football signing. But I mean, with this latest development, I mean, who knows whether he will come or not because of that third party. And look, there's a social media video going around when he's talking to the Block St. George supporter where he was really upset about supposedly leaving. What
are you giggling at?
Eh?
What are you giggling at? Oh, what are you giggling at?
Yeah. No, I've had about 3 different names tonight. I've had the foot was in. I've had I love KP. I've had Jez, and now yes, it is a Parra hoodie that I'm wearing because, as I said, it's very comfortable. It's usually my Sunday attire, but yeah, good cheap signing.
Can we get him off screen, please?
Well.
Can't say this bloke serious anymore. Mary, I'm going to go to you now. Remember, this is an unfiltered podcast, Mary. So if you want to, you can give me your thoughts on this signing. It doesn't matter what you say; you can say whatever you want. It's 8:55, so all the kids are in bed. Your thoughts?
Look, I knew you would come to me on this one, Adam. I am struggling a little bit with this signing, and I'm trying to really get to the bottom of why. It's not for me to make moral judgments on people in the game. I feel I'd be lying if I said I was super comfortable with this signing, and that's probably something I need to think about. I also think from a risk perspective, it's curious because I feel like the focus to date has been on all these young players coming through the next generation of talent. And we're now going with a 35-year-old for 2 years. It just seems a bit baffling to me. I guess if I'm being truthful, perhaps I'm comfortable for Jack DeBellin to be playing footy, but maybe I just wish it wasn't at Parra.
That's fair. That's fair. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. And I see your points and I've got my own opinions. And as you know, I let my own opinions pretty well known on that situation as well. Taylor, I'll go to you for another female perspective of this signing because it is controversial with all the stuff that did happen. So we're not going to hide from it. Look, obviously, I will say too, he was found not guilty with all those charges and stuff. I do want to put that out there. So not judging him on that. But, at the end of the day, he still did cheat on his pregnant partner at the time. So the facts are the facts, and that's what happened. So, Taylor, your thoughts on the Jack DeBellin signing?
Well, I've seen that video as well of that. I think his name was JC, that Dragon supporter, going around, and his old mate, he started crying, like he was getting teary-eyed and stuff when he was saying he didn't want him to leave the Dragons. So honestly, I don't think his heart's definitely not at Parramatta. Same as like what Mary was saying, we've got all these the young ones coming through. Like, why are we signing such an old one? But at the same time, like, he does bring the experience. He will help the young ones, gain some knowledge, get some experience and stuff. So I'm very 50-50 on it. But it would be interesting to see if he does backflip and stay at the Dragons, if the rumours are true.
Yeah, he wasn't crying because he was leaving the Dragons. He was crying because he just saw Parramatta concede 26 points in the first half, and he thought, how many fucking tackles am I going to have to make? Wongy, let's go to you with some stats and some facts on this signing. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so Jack DeBellin, I'm just going to focus on the footy stuff. So for him, defensively in Axe, he's played Origin before as well. Very creative. So he's a playmaker at the prop spot too. He can stretch up to 80 minutes. He can play down to 30 minutes. He's very flexible. And I think that's really important when you look at our pack going forward, because we've got a few guys. Like we brought Jack Williams in, for example, and you look at the flexibility of him. He's played on the edge. He's played at prop. He's played at lock. He can play off the bench, like play big and small minutes. And that's helped us a ton. I think Jack DeBellin does the same thing in the middle forward rotation. So I see him adding value. And I think you look at the youth we have, right? We've got Tuiviti there. We've got Moretti. We've got a few other guys coming through as well in the forward pack. These guys are explosive impact guys. They're not guys you're going to leave out there for 60, 70, 80 minutes. So if you have a couple of injuries, they're not stretching out to those minutes without leaking a lot of points. Jack DeBellin can do that. So I think we do need to plug a guy in that can do that job for us. And even Junior Paulo, like we see him this year, he's playing massive minutes. And I almost think if we bring JDB in, we reduce Junior's minutes a little bit and just tell him to go a little harder, more short stint intense, not quite fooey moi moi level, but a bit more of that OG Junior Paulo. And I think we see a different side of Junior because Jack's cleaning up in the middle instead. So I think it's a good signing. I don't think it would have been expensive. And my understanding is it's 1 year and then it's an additional year club option. So at his age, it's a 1 year deal, and then we can decide if we want to keep him. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it.
One more point to make on it, but I want to bring up this comment and just highlight this, Rob. Rob, you're basing something off a rumor you've heard of what happened with Dylan Walker. There's no proof with that. There's absolutely no proof with that. The Jack DeBellin stuff was a fact, okay? He admitted to that, obviously, in his interview and stuff after it all happened. So you're basing off a rumor of something you heard happened, not actually proof of what happened. But let's move on from the Jack DeBellin side of things.
Yeah.
Go on, Hayden. Have your say.
Oh well, there's a lot of negativity around here. I'm really positive. I've been asking on this podcast for years that we need a veteran forward, and Longy brings it up that he can play that crucial role. And you guys keep mentioning how much you want Jack Williams moved to an edge. Now, if you have Junior and Jack in the front row, then you have Jack in the back row. He's going to teach these young players a lot. And maybe he gets a role within the club afterwards when he does retire, being at that old age. But I really like this signing. I'm really looking forward to it.
I just want to say too, Adam, and you probably feel this as well, as someone in their 30s, hearing him referred to as old age is just so jarring every time it happens. I feel like most of the panel is feeling that.
How's the new pattern?
Probably myself being the oldest one here, I think.
Yeah, look, I'm not afraid to say that, we all know I made the comeback, lasted 2 games and have fallen straight back into retirement. So I certainly do feel old. That's for sure. I'm not going to deny that. And yeah, I'm old as it comes. So, but Jez producer turned 34 yesterday, so he's older. I'm 33. I think I'm actually probably I'm the 4th youngest here. So no, actually, Longy, are you older than me?
Man, I'm younger than you, just more mature.
Yeah. It was the hairline that threw me off. Sorry, Longy. I wasn't quite sure. All right, let's move on from that side of things. It's time to get your final questions in. While you get your final questions in, I will draw this winner of the prize. Now, remember, you do have 30 seconds to claim it. I've just got to get back to normal. There was about 21 of you entered because some starred comments as well. Let's get it up, the pretty random thing. Okay, so 30 seconds, not 35 seconds. Now, we're obviously going to say your name, then we're going to start the timer. So you actually get about 40 seconds. We're pretty generous people. So, all right, 21 numbers. All right, let's do this. Is number 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is Robert Delaney. You've got 30 seconds from now, Robert. 30 seconds. We usually play some music.
This is horrible.
While we're waiting, what's something that isn't painful to listen to?
Hayden, shut
All
up.
the flame trees will black.
I was just going to say, Adam.
He's here.
Hey.
Thank God. Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Hayden and Troy singing a duet of Flame Trees. Robert, message the page. We'll organise that Leagues Club voucher. Obviously, remember, you do have to use that at Parramatta Leagues Club. Can't be used online. It's a physical in thing. Longy, what were you going to say? Sorry?
Oh, just I was going to fill with some actual content. We're dead last in dummy half runs. So if people think we don't need a hooker, I think 2 hookers, we can get off the bottom there.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, we'll take that. All right, let's get into our bold predictions and get your final questions in. Now, girls, this is obviously
Bold
a new
predictions.
Yeah. Oh, there's no game.
For what?
Oh, we don't have to be bold
Just
prediction.
bold prediction in general. We'll just throw something out there.
Yeah, let's go.
Pick a game. Pick a game this week.
NRLW,
Yep. Let's do that.
NRLW women to kill it in Try July. That's actually what I wanted to say before.
Yeah.
The men traditionally haven't gotten behind it, but the women take it really, really seriously. So keep your eyes out on Thursday night.
Zali Faye last year. How good was her one?
Oh, was
Yeah.
that the what's that called when you go under the rope thing?
Limbo?
You're showing your
Limbo.
age.
The Parra girls.
You're showing how young you are. You didn't know what that was called. No, we're going to go bold prediction. All right, we've already done our first try scorers, obviously our bold predictions for the NRLW earlier. Let's go Origin because next week we won't be able to do an Origin one because obviously, it's next Wednesday. We're going to do a show next Tuesday. We probably won't do a show. Yeah, we'll do a show next Tuesday, do a preview show. So let's go an Origin bold prediction. So I've got something to chuck up, all right? So I'm going to let Hayden go first. Hayden, your bold prediction.
Daly Cherry Evans to make a comeback.
Someone play the Antiques Roadshow music.
Xavier Coates to score a double in a shock Queensland victory.
Yeah,
That is
I want
terrible.
I want your score and your first try score as
Oh,
well.
sorry, I thought you said bold prediction. I haven't thought about this. Okay, let's go with Xavier Coates' first try scorer. And I think this game will be low, and if there's rain as well, I don't know how the rain is. I'll go Queensland 16-12. I think it'll be very low. And the goal kicking shit from New South Wales.
Ooh. I don't know who I've just eliminated again. I think I've eliminated someone again. I've got to get Jez in.
Why have I been kicked to the corner again?
No, you're not. But Jez will want to do a bold prediction for
What
Origin.
is that name? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun mucking around with people's names, so that's all I do in the background. Nothing else.
I think I've had 4 names now.
One hasn't changed, so I'm the only one that was close enough to him to if he does anything offensive to me. So
Because you pay my bills, so that's why. Got to look after the boss.
Pretty much. All right, so let's go to Jack, your bold prediction for the Origin. Just your try. Sorry, I need to explain this. Your try scorer, you score your try scorer in your bold prediction.
All right, Now, I don't think the rain will affect the points based solely off game 2. I'm going to go 32-14 to New South Wales. I'm going to go Latrell Mitchell as my first try scorer. And my bold prediction is that Stephen Crichton fends Shibasaki so hard, his goatee falls off.
Oh, wow.
I don't think you're getting any points for that, Jack, somehow.
Mate, well, what if I did?
Well, that would be 1,000,000 points or something.
Mate, you wanted bold.
Yeah, that's pretty
That was
bold.
really fun to write down. Critter fends off Tibbers goatee. Bold prediction.
Longy, what are you going?
I'll go Blues to get up 22-10. Queensland score a consolation try at the end to get it to 10. We'll go Zach Lomax first try scorer. And I'm going to say that Hayden is so upset, is my bold prediction, that he doesn't come on the podcast the following week.
Yeah, that's actually quite likely as well. Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's just like block his entry no matter what, so it hits.
Oh, if they
The one after that will be a good podcast because we'll be previewing the
Is that a win?
Music's in my ears.
That's a preview.
Yeah.
No, we'll be reviewing the Panthers game after being in the corporate box. So alcohol will become a best friend of mine.
Yeah, so yeah, dry
It's
July.
July, Hayden, mate.
Right, going really well. All right, Mary, your bold prediction: first try scorer and score.
New South Wales to win 30-6. Zach Lomax to be first try scorer and Zach Lomax to score half of New South Wales points.
Like it. Look at
He's
look
gonna
how
kick
easy
it.
that was. She's taught you
field
all.
goal too.
She's taught you all how to do it on a first ever one of doing it. She absolutely nailed it, and you're just all meant to be seasoned experts and just waffle. All right, Taylor, what do you got?
All right, I've got Liam Martin to barge over, first try scorer. And then the points are going to be hectic. I reckon New South Wales is going to blow Queensland out of the park. It's going to be like 28-6, and the score's going to be that good. Billy Slater's going to lose his job. That's my bold prediction.
Yeah, so I've got to ask. You're obviously a New South Wales supporter, being in Queensland.
Yeah.
We'll take that. We'll take that. That's a win. We've got one idiot that lives in New South Wales and supports Queensland. He's an absolute flog of a bloke, Hayden. Jez?
Do you know what they're called? Those people that live in New South Wales follow Queensland?
Wankers.
Wankers, thank you. Yes.
Wankers.
Josh West, if you are watching, you are also a wanker and also a Brisbane supporter.
But hang on, sorry, Hayden was actually born in Queensland. Josh wasn't, so that's completely, he's even worse.
Double
Anyway,
wanker.
Jez, whatever your name is. What do you got?
Yeah, score, I'm going to go. Hang on, sorry, Taylor. My turn. Score. I'm going to go 32-16 to New South Wales. First try scorer, I'm going to go Yo. He's going to crash over. I think he deserves one. Yo! And thanks, Troy. How do I remove Troy? And bold prediction, I think there's going to be, I really like the Slater to lose job, so I kind of want to go into that vein as well. It's going to be, who's going to retire? Who's going to have a forced retirement from this?
Cameron Munster.
No.
Patrick Carrick.
Reece Walsh.
Nah,
He's
let's
not even
go.
fucking
Oh, actually,
playing.
Josh
No,
Kerr.
he'll still be retired, but
Lindsay Collins, is he playing?
No.
yeah.
Is he on the bench?
No.
He's on the
Yes,
bench.
he
He's on the bench.
Yeah, great. Okay. Bold prediction, Lindsay Collins is actually going to split his head open for the 15th time and he's going to lose a tooth. Another one.
How many pre-game avocados is he gonna?
We'll have to get into him early because he's gonna be up to his about 8th tooth lost for the season. So that's my bold prediction.
Fuck. Is anyone else who hasn't done theirs, or is this me? Troy, have you done yours? Have we done Troy's?
Nah, 42-32. I'm gonna go Max King. Max King, first try scorer. Bold prediction. Zach Lomax to kick all his goals. That'd be nice. And Payne Haas to be the Wally Lewis medalist.
It's crazy. Your bold prediction was the least bold thing you said just then.
Yeah, but we saw how he kicked on Saturday. We saw how he kicked in Origin 2, so it might not be so bold.
All right. I'm going to finish this now. All right. So I thought, obviously, the last over Origin was a bit of a setup. The refereeing was disgraceful. 8 penalties very early on. It's like they wanted a game 3. I think New South Wales are a far superior team. I'm very confident they're going to come out and absolutely smash this. So I'm going to have 44 points to 6 to New South Wales. My first try scorer is Latrell Mitchell. Latrell's taken a lot of heat. Hasn't really done that much in Origin. My poll prediction, I'm going to do a little multi. Latrell hat-trick into Lomax to convert all the points, all his goals. So that means he'll kick 8 with a penalty goal. So 7 from 7 and a penalty goal. All right. So let's just say all conversions successful. There we go.
Isn't that what I just said?
And you said, I multied it. I put it into Latrell Mitchell to score a hat-trick.
He's copying you, Troy.
He had to go up and beyond.
Simple yes or no answer here from Ryan Flaxman's comment, because surely as New South Welshmen, you can all agree. Cleary to show the reason why he dominates Origin. Has Cleary ever dominated Origin? Longy.
I love
coming
Flax.
from a
I love
Penrith
Flax.
supporter.
He's the one sufferable Panthers supporter out there. But no, look, Cleary only does well when I'm rooting against him. So not for the Blues.
Mary, has Cleary dominated Origin?
Do we have enough time to have this conversation?
Troy?
No, he hasn't won a series decider at Suncorp, so no.
Jack?
In games, yes. Overall, no.
Jez?
Wasn't listening. What's the question?
Does Cleary dominate in Origin ever?
No.
Can you go back to the naughty corner? Actually, Hayden needs to be in the naughty corner.
Taylor?
No, Cleary's never going to be on Moses' level for Origin.
There you go.
Adam?
Oh, no, 100%. Everyone's nailed it. I'd never seen him as an Origin player. Great NRL player, but the Penrith system they run does not work at Origin level. So, it doesn't really work for me. And that's the only real concern at the moment for that game decider. Look, we've got a few questions to get to, then we're done. So, everyone, was Josh the cars foot? No, joking. We're not actually going to that question.
It was in.
Jez, did you actually star any questions, or did I accidentally remove them all?
Oh, look. Typical
No, they're all there. They're all there.
No, I moved them. That'll do. It's been long. It's literally. Here's a good
Still
question
there on my
coming.
screen.
I'm sure De Silva stated he wanted more game time. That's why I wanted to leave. He won't get more time with us. What were your thoughts? Has he changed his mind, do you think? Look, it said he wanted to be a starting 9. Obviously, he's probably going to get an opportunity straight up, you would think, and they're going to fight it out. Competition is huge. I think he wanted to weigh out the Tigers. I don't know what's going on at the Tigers at the moment, but they all seem to want out of there. So, yeah. Travis here, Simo returning against Panthers. Both Simo and Sam Tuivasa both being named to play New South Wales Cup this week. So you think they get through that game unscathed? They do return the week after. Pretty much it. That's all we've got time for. It's been a huge show. Thanks to Taylor and Mary Kay for joining us, boys. It hasn't been your best effort, to be honest.
Come on.
I'll be honest. I think the buyers made you a little bit silly. It's
the weather, I think.
the weather. Yeah,
They're like Parra, not on their game. Not on their game.
Yeah, it's the weather.
We needed a better second half, guys. Come on.
Parra come good in the second half. These boys just got worse and worse. Besides Longy. Longy's always exceptional. Longy's just, it's just him. Longy's just a professional. All right, that's all we've got time for. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your bye week. It's going to be a week where I'm just going to have to get through with some multis, that's for sure, to make the rugby league interesting. Obviously, Origin next week. We will be here Tuesday to do a final, a bit more in-depth preview of Origin, review the NRLW game, and obviously review next week's game against Penrith. So thanks for coming, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Go Parra.